In August of 2016, prolonged rainfall from an unpredictable storm resulted in catastrophic flooding in the state of Louisiana. In my city of Denham Springs, 90% of the homes received water, some 4,200 homes. Of those, 3,000 of these homes received 18 inches or more of water, 25 to 30 inches of rain in less than 72 hours. The Amite River, which cuts through the heart of Livingston Parish, crested at 46.2 feet, some 5 feet above its previously recorded record and some 17.2 feet above its flood stage at Denham Springs. Hey everyone, welcome back to Local Leaders, the podcast. Glad to welcome someone today that if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably recognize this guy. He's done a little bit in the parish. Wouldn't you say that? Welcome.
A little something, yeah.
A little something. You've been everywhere. And what makes this guy unique, and of course I'm talking about Scooter Keene, what makes him so unique and why I reached out to him to come on the podcast is he had a very unique story as it relates to the flood, because he wasn't only in parish government at that time. And what were you?
Oh, I was a parish councilman in District 3.
District 3.
Our first year. We had just gotten sworn in.
Yeah. Right. Welcome to parish government.
There you go. Yeah.
And in addition to that, you also own multiple businesses in the parish.
Yeah, we had quick and handy dry cleaners.
Yep. My favorite cleaners
which
for
I've
years.
sold since then, and now I'm in parish government.
Now you couldn't get enough of it.
No, I couldn't. Once it gets in your bloodstream, you want to help people.
That's right.
And I enjoy doing what I'm doing now, working for Randy Lalat.
Yeah. Well, I see you every week on YouTube. You're your own YouTube star anyway on there.
Yeah, well.
I hear you talk every week, but I felt it was necessary definitely to get you on the show because of that experience. You kind of saw it from both sides. You saw it from a parish leadership side, and you also saw it from a citizen/business owner side.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, of course, for those maybe just joining us, we're talking about what we refer to as the Great Flood of 2016.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, Scooter, is it wasn't the first flood in August of 2016.
Oh, no.
Was it?
It got us in March south of the interstate and to the east side.
Yeah.
Pretty bad down there.
Yeah.
And people forget about that one.
Yep.
A lot of people were affected by that down there. You know, they think, oh, there's not many people. There's a lot of people down there in southern Livingston Parish.
There really is, and that was primarily Marpaw,
Springfield area down,
Fort Vincent, French Settlement.
Yeah, French Settlement,
yep.
and they got hit pretty bad because I remember calling Shane Mack, and I said, Shane, it's flooding down there, and he goes, it is? And I said, yeah, man. I said, they got like 16 inches of rain, just north of the interstate, and I said, it's going to be pretty bad. And he goes, well, okay. I said, you want me to go check on it? So I went down to Springfield. That's about as far as I could get.
Yeah.
I even tried to go to Ponchatoula, and you couldn't. It was over the bridge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy moly here. What's going on?
Yeah.
Because we were dry up in Watson,
Sure.
And so that was our first foray into, oh, my God, we got to have recovery happening.
Yes.
And thank God for Leighton Ricks and Mark Harrell and the people who handled things, because we didn't know.
Yeah, y'all were all fresh. I think that council was
and,
mostly fresh.
Oh, we were all new, all nine. Tracy and John Wascom had some experience because they'd been on city councils.
Yep.
So that's why we had made them the chair and co-chair, because we're going to put y'all know how to run a meeting at least. Right. And so that March was kind of strange,
Yeah.
And then, then we were in recovery mode for March. We were still in it when August happened. And I want to talk a little bit about, maybe take me through your experience. We talked a little bit about this off camera, but there was a couple of days there that were interesting, to say the least, in that
it was almost like a preparation for a flood you never knew was coming.
Yeah.
But you saw oddities in the weather.
Oh, very much. And, you know, we had a council meeting that night, August the 11th, and we didn't even talk about that there may be a flood or, you know, there was a little tropical system that was pushing through, and it had been raining most of the day pretty hard. But it always rains pretty hard in South Louisiana.
Sure.
You know, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And so we were actually, a friend of ours' wife had passed, and we were going to the wake. So we all were in dress clothes and coats and, you know. And I remember going through the meeting, no big deal. I don't even remember what was on it. Was probably something to do with the March flood,
Right.
you know, for all I know.
Yeah.
But we go to Walker to the church for the thing. I mean, it's dumping all the way to Walker.
Yeah.
We get soaking wet getting in the church, get out of the church. We thought, go home, right?
Sure.
Well, by Friday, all hell had broken loose.
Yeah.
People were flooding all over the parish, not just the south this time, all the way up to the parish line. And we thought, well, it's just rain, it'll quit.
Yeah.
But it didn't quit for
No.
like 40 hours. It
Yeah.
never let up.
Yeah.
And thank God my house didn't flood, but I could hear the rescue boats on Saturday going into Acadiana Place and different areas. I could hear the airboats rescuing people.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, can't hardly get out of my road, couldn't get to 16. That was on Saturday. By Sunday, you know, could get out a little bit and went checked on shelters and did things. We couldn't even get in touch with the parish president because all the phone systems were down.
Yeah, AT&T was non-existent.
The radios wouldn't even work.
Yeah.
You know, they'd given us a radio, said, y'all might need radios. Why we might need radios? Never crossed our mind. The most catastrophic thing that could ever happen in Livingston Parish was about to happen.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and owning my business in downtown Denham, and we built 1 foot above the 83 crest.
Yeah.
That's all we built.
Yeah.
And what did it crest? 8 feet? Higher than 83?
Yeah.
Didn't get water in my building.
Yeah. That's
amazing.
unbelievable. Yeah. And you have multiple businesses. You have one on
one on South Range that took on water on Saturday night.
Yep.
And I called Joe
Lot of
Shoemate.
water.
I said, Joe Mac, I have got to get down there and see. No, you can't come into town. We're not allowing anybody in. And I'm like, wait, but he says still be there. It's either going to be flooded or it's not, right?
Yeah.
Don't get in this and cause more issues. And, you know, and I was kind of mad at Joe.
Sure.
That was my business, but he was protecting the city.
That's right.
And the resources. You know, we don't have a whole lot of resources as far as fire and police for something that major that covered 90% of the structures.
Yeah.
So he finally called me on like Sunday afternoon. He goes, hey, come meet me and I'll bring you down there.
Yeah.
So we brought the delivery vans, loaded everything up, brought it to the main plant that hadn't flooded. When we drove up, my wife had put something in the sliding door on the side.
Yeah.
So that if it was turned over, she would know.
Wow.
And it was sitting there and she goes, oh my God, we didn't flood.
Unbelievable.
And later that night, a friend of mine from Baton Rouge that owns Welsh's Cleaners, Ricky Welsh, he sent me an aerial view of the cleaners, and you could see the water in the parking lot all the way around it, but it didn't flood us because God knew we needed to be open.
Right.
And we processed 50,000 pieces of clothes in 5 weeks.
Wow.
We got open on Tuesday morning. Employees made it in. We started processing clothes. The very first customer backs up a truck full of soaking wet clothes, covered in sewage and God knows what else.
Oh, yeah.
And so for about an hour, we cried with these people.
Yeah.
Then the next truck pulls in. And I told my wife, I feel for everybody. You know, we flooded 5 times in Holden growing up from the Tickfaw River.
Sure.
But I feel for these people. But if I don't get started on these clothes right now, they're all going to ruin.
Yeah.
So I said, you're going to have to cry with people. I got to get in the back.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was September, well, the end of August by then. So middle of August, 125 degrees in the back of the shop. We were working 16-hour days, but we knew we had to do everything we could to help people because they had lost everything.
Everything.
But that dress that was special to them or that christening outfit for their kid we saved those and got them back to them, you know?
Yeah. And that's, you know, from someone on the, obviously outside of that, and I didn't own a cleaners, we didn't even realize the clothes could be saved. And so we were literally just
junking them.
I can remember. Oh yeah. Right there in the pile. And that kind of moves me to my next thought is, okay, that, you know, what happened, and we all know what happened. And now you got to put your parish government hat on.
You're right.
Because
while we're still trying to run that business, at the same time that we're trying to get people permitted to get back in their homes and everything else to get them gutted and let their life move on. You know, thank goodness we didn't have a huge loss of life. We did lose a few people in the parish.
Could have been a lot worse.
Oh, it could have.
You know, one life is too many.
Too many.
It could have easily been 1,000.
Oh, that's like, who would have dreamed that coffins had popped out of the ground all over the parish?
Yeah.
Everywhere that flooded. And so that was a daunting task for you know, the people to come back and try and identify who were in these boxes.
Yeah.
You know?
The city of Denham Springs Cemetery.
Yeah. Everywhere. Down below a lot. So a lot of people in the city of Denham Springs, they have the big marble overlays and all that kept it from doing it. Matter of fact, after this flood, we had so many questions that we had no answers. I mean, we're like, you know, and probably, 6 of the 9 councilmen flooded, Leighton Ricks flooded, you know? And so they come to us about the coffins and they go, we need you to make a new ordinance. And it's been a while. It wasn't right away, but
sure.
They said, we need you to make sure that a tag is affixed to every coffin from now on, that it can't come off like stainless steel with the information on it. And I'm like, y'all do, they telling us this is a 1,000-year rain event. This ain't ever going to happen again. And they like, well, look at, you know, Cottonport and Mansur and all that the other day. Yeah. They had the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, from a tropical system that just hung out. And so all these things. And so we were new. We'd just gone through one flood in March, and so we was trying to kind of weed through that. And then here's August, and we're trying to weed through that. So our first 2 years wasn't about, oh, well, let's fix ordinance on how you're going to build your house. It was like, let's fix that you get to rebuild your house.
That's right.
You know?
And in addition to that, you had I don't know how many homes, thousands of homes that had piles of debris in their front yards. And it's up to the parish, you know, anything outside of city limits, obviously, who's going to pick this up? Who's going to dump it?
We had a standby person on under contract that if you had these type of things, because you'd have tornadoes that hit and all these different things, and if you got a declaration, then FEMA would pick up hauling off of all the debris. So we had debris contractor on standby, and they do now. We always have to have that.
Yeah. Thankfully.
Matter of fact, I was going through my phone earlier to help Lizzie to get her some pictures, and I had pictures of Acadiana where I went to check on Jamie, and everything that everybody owned, everything, not some things, everything was stacked by the roads. And one picture said, are they coming to pick this up today? I can't get my fifth wheel out of the driveway to go dump the sewage. Can you get, it was somebody sent me, said, can you check on this scooter and see when they're going to come? Yeah. You know, didn't even think about that, okay, they did get they bought them a fifth wheel, or they had one, parked it in their driveway, because we made an ordinance allowing them to do that. Yep. But then they gutted their house, and then, well, normally you'd say, oh, I'm going to call somebody to come pump my septic out on my fifth wheel when they know where to drain it. Who? They all flooded too.
Yeah, there was
no businesses were open. Oh, we were so blessed. My daughter and son-in-law and my son and his wife, might have been his girlfriend at the time, lived in Baton Rouge. And they called us and said, hey, can we get to Denham Springs, because we're going to come help y'all at the cleaners, because they were attorneys and you know, different things like that. Didn't have any work. They were flooded in Baton Rouge too. They didn't flood, but you know, a lot of businesses did too. And said, yeah, but can you find us some food? 'Cause we got 18 people here working and nowhere to buy even some sandwich meat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's right.
Walmart's all flooded, everything all. So they came and they found Red Cross set up. Thank God for Red Cross. A lot of people complain. Well, I only got a cold sandwich. You know what?
Complain.
A cold sandwich was better than no sandwich.
Amen.
Or the beans wasn't cooked enough. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, folks.
Yeah, we're not a Big Mike's.
No, that's right. We're getting what we can get, and we've been blessed that they were here doing things. And they look, Red Cross Samaritan's Purse, all these different people. The Cajun navies that popped up because of the flood have been instrumental in saving and helping thousands and thousands of people since the 16 flood. So I guess our disaster turned into a major help for a lot of people since then.
It really did, and you know, the pressure. I couldn't imagine. Look, I flooded and lost every freaking thing I owned. Had 3 kids, a wife, and I'm not special because I was one of 3,000, 5,000 people in that same situation. I was blessed because I did have structure insurance. Now, I didn't have contents insurance.
Yeah.
I learned later.
Yeah.
But I did have structure insurance.
A lot of people learn later.
And I was blessed to have that. There were a lot of people that didn't have either. And retired folks right next to me that were happy to not pay that flood insurance anymore because they had just paid their house off, and I don't have to pay this stupid flood insurance anymore. It's never going to flood.
Or the people in flood zone X. So the figure that I got was like 80 to 90% of flood zone X flooded.
Yep.
So it's so important, even though you go, well, let's say you didn't flood in 16, either flood, but yet you're an X. My house is paid off. I didn't have to buy it in the first place. Please go get some flood insurance. It's cheap.
Peace of mind.
If it's $100 a month and you don't have to think about it, they'll cover you up to $250,000, and I'm not sure how much the contents is, but it's very cheap insurance.
Yeah.
Everybody, there's a lot of people since then paying $4,000 or $5,000.
Me?
But
I pay it.
You pay it. What were you? Y'all were probably in.
I was. I don't know what zone it would be.
It was probably AE.
I was required to carry flood insurance, and
it was cheap
thank God, because I wouldn't have paid it if I wasn't required. Like, it ain't gonna flood. Didn't flood here in '83.
10 years ago was like, wow, that's $800.
I'd take it all day long now if it was. Yeah. But I do pay it because I've been in that situation and I made sure I had contents insurance this time. But from a parish perspective, y'all are juggling all of this
while running our day-to-day lives.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
And
you felt like you were dropping the ball all day, every day.
New experience.
Couldn't help people.
Learning on the fly.
It was almost like when you have a baby that's sick.
Yeah.
And you can't soothe the whatever it is that's happening.
Yeah.
That's how we felt with 150,000 people.
Yeah.
Because most of them had some. If you were one of the few, like I was, that didn't, your home or the plant didn't flood, it was almost like we felt guilty.
Yeah. That I ran into so many people like that, and they had almost a guilty feeling. Why did I not flood? And you hit it on the head. God needed you to clean people's clothes.
That's why we could figure.
That's exactly what it was.
I would tell people, they go, "Oh, you flooded." I said, "No, we were very blessed." And my wife goes, "No, don't call it that, because that means other people weren't blessed." I said, "No, baby." I said, "Everybody's blessings are different." Okay?
Yeah.
You lost everything in your house, but your house is still there. You got it gutted. You're gonna rebuild. That was your blessing. You could have lost the house.
Absolutely.
But it was so many weeks of just heartache. And then after that came rebuilding roads that tore up, rebuilding structures, parish, the jail. Everything flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
y'all had tons of money.
Yeah, we had. Actually. So
you had spare money to do that.
I watched my interview with Ken Benitez on the inauguration day in January 16.
Yeah.
And he goes, I want you to tell me why you ran for this job when other people are going, man, that's the worst job to have in Livingston Parish right now. And I said, because it's time to give back. Because like I said, we did a podcast way back.
Years ago, yeah.
And I told you, what if it wasn't for the people of Livingston Parish, I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't have had anything.
Yeah.
I'd just have a job somewhere, working, whatever. No, it allowed me to run my business and to give back. But we never had time to give back, you know. But working in the permit office, I'm in the planning and zoning, planning and development.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of the results of this now.
And now with the different things that we did a lot, and then when Randy took over as parish president, when he won his election, now we're doing the drainage master plan for the entire parish.
Yeah.
We've done many drainage projects that would have never happened had the flood not happened. Okay.
Right.
During Layton's years and now with Randy, so many in the future, like we're going to be letting a bid soon for dredging Amite River from Port Vincent all the way to the lake.
Yeah.
Okay. Dredging it, not just scooping out the trees.
Right.
Okay. Now, that's just one of many things. But, these things wouldn't have, we wouldn't even thought about it. We'd have just been moping along, doing our thing.
100%. And I see that a lot with the council meetings now, and both from the administrative side and the other side of the council, where first and foremost in people's mind is drainage. Now, I'll say this, and this is my belief on that flood. That was a storm that set up over an area and never moved for 3 days.
Yep.
And I am certainly of the belief that you could have the best drainage in the world. And if you get 36 inches of rain in 3 days, you're going to flood.
Nothing you can do.
You may not have 6 feet like I had in my house.
That's right.
It may only be 2.
Yeah, but still. So I heard that from day one. Oh, y'all overdeveloping the parish. You're covering everything with concrete. It wouldn't matter if there was nothing but cow pastures left and you got 36 inches, everything would have still flooded exactly
100%.
like that. And so a lot of the things that are happening, like right now, we're doing $80 million. We're bonded out $80 million for roads. Council voted to bond it out. And it's going to be set up in 12 different separate road projects. We're doing cross culverts. We're doing drainage on every project. Now, that's going to help during rain events, 4, 5, 6 inches.
Yeah.
Make no difference whatsoever during a 30 to 36 inch.
That's unstoppable.
You can't make enough capacity for that.
Yeah.
It's like the ARBC is getting approved to put they've already bought up, the Amite River Basin Commission has already bought up land along the upper Amite to use old gravel mines as retention.
Yeah.
To pull some of the water off the Amite River, store it, and then as it goes down, then it'll let it back into the river. So that'll help.
Certainly help.
The Amite River Diversion Canal, the Comite River Diversion, we'll see.
Help Baton Rouge more than probably Livingston Parish.
And Central.
Yeah, and Central.
If we get a few inches lower level, that'll help the 83 style floods. But nothing that won't help the 16 style.
No, 36 inches of rain in that short a period of time.
I wish there was something you could snap your fingers and
we all do.
But you can't.
There's
just no way. We have floodplain manager Kim Heimel in my office, and we deal with, so now with zoning, now that we have zoning, every single thing I have to check the zoning. Then we got to check the flood zone.
Yeah.
Then we've got to see, if it's a flood zone, whether they have to do fill mitigation and retention.
Yeah.
And how much.
Yeah.
So those things are going to help on a 10, 12, 14-inch rains. Yes, that'll keep water out of some houses that used to flood.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. If it keeps it out of one. Matter of fact, that Thursday that it started raining, I told you I was on the way home. I was headed to Dunn Road before I went home to get dressed for the council meeting.
Yeah.
Because they had 2 houses off of Dunn Road that every time it rained 3 or 4 inches, they were getting water on them in the houses.
Yeah.
And they had Gravity One with Wesley Kennebrew.
Oh, yeah.
Had dug new drainage behind these houses, and I'm standing out there in the driving rainstorm and watching the water leave instead of getting in them two houses.
Yeah.
And I got beat to death over that, putting that drainage in.
Sure.
Because some people had to move their fences that had been built in the drainage servitude.
Yeah. Well.
But if it kept it out of two houses, these people, some of them had dug holes and put sump pumps in them so that it pumped the water away from their house. When all it took was it was really a swale about 8 to 12 inches deep at the deepest, between two subdivisions, but it's never flooded again since then. And I would have been fine losing my election at that next election, knowing them two houses didn't flood.
Absolutely. And that's what you want out of your council with these improvements that you're seeing is the 12 inches of rain, 14 inches of rain are going to be a lot more common than the 40 inches.
Yep.
And so those are the things that you want to stave off. The massive event like we had in 2016, hopefully none of us ever see that again.
But it could.
But but anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
But you're going to see a lot of those 10, 12, 14, 16-inch rains a ton more frequently.
That's a 500-year rain event when you get that like 16 inches.
Yeah.
And we get it a couple times a year.
Sure. It's moving up a little bit. Now it's a 100-year event.
Yeah, it really is. And now it's like a yearly event, but you got to factor in from the beginning of time.
That's right.
So it only happens every 100 years.
Yeah.
But this council we have in place now, they've approved the drainage master plan, the money to spend on that. The road program where they're putting all the drainage in. So they are improving Livingston Parish as a whole by doing all these things, except for the event of a catastrophic flood.
That's right.
And we can't, and nobody can fix that.
Nobody can fix it. Nobody can really predict it. But I'll tell you what matters and what's important from a citizen standpoint, and that is you have people like a Scooter King somewhere in parish government still that experienced it, because you can't replace experience. And you guys, the majority of you guys in those particular positions have been through it.
Yeah.
You kind of know what to do to start. Nobody wants to ever see it again, but I want someone in there that's been there and done that, and you learned a lot from that first one.
Well, I've got several friends on this new council, and I call them friends. Hell, Billy Taylor that beat me, I call him a good friend.
Yeah.
Because we talk all the time.
Yeah.
And John Mangus, for instance.
Great
John
guy.
goes to church with us, been in the men's club and everything together. He'll call me and go, Scooter, he said, I'm working on this ordinance. What does the planning department see? How would it fit together in this ordinance? And I'm like, well, John, I'll check. And so the administration's working really well with the council to bring change. Well, it was a New Day Livingston, right?
Right.
When they all got elected.
Yeah.
Best thing ever happened in my life was to lose. It really was. 8 years, my family was tired of it. My wife was tired of it. Everybody, Livingston Parish was tired of seeing me, but I didn't really go anywhere. But I'm here, but I'm not in that capacity. I'm not making laws.
Yeah.
I'm helping every chance I get.
Yeah.
Mr. Randy said, look, any of those councilmen, Dee Dee, my actual boss,
Yeah.
Dee Dee DeLatte, she goes, anytime they need help with stuff, we're in this, we see it every day, and they're wanting to fix the problem, so tell them what you're seeing. Help them all try to get it right, which you can't, because there's no perfect ordinances, right? Period.
No.
You write it, it looks great, they go to do it, well, they got around that again. Let's try something else,
Right.
But all these guys work so hard. That's like the pay raise. They finally passed the pay raise for the council a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it doesn't apply to this council. It'll be whoever's in there next time.
Sure.
I tried for 8 years and couldn't get the fifth vote. And
if the average person knew how much time y'all spend,
oh Lord,
whether you agree with the councilman, disagree with the councilman, they put in their time.
They need to talk to Mr. Joe Erdy
for small change. You know what I mean?
Joe he comes around with his notebook, and Mr. Joe has been helping with flooding issues. Anybody calls him, he's going to go.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, man. He said, I spend way more than $1,200 a month. He said, and 40 hours a week. That's funny. You know?
Oh yeah, I mean, even at the raise level that they got,
16,
it's costing you more money than you're making.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It's still, being a public servant.
Yes.
You're not nobody's.
And look, you don't sign on for the money, but you want to at least make enough to put some gas in your truck.
You don't want to lose.
Right.
You don't want to lose money.
Right.
If you can help it.
And if it's a
Kinda
little,
opposite.
it's okay. But when you go $1,000 in the hole every month for doing a job, it's like, I need a different job. Right?
Yeah.
And it's thankless because no matter what you do, even if it's on drainage, well, we don't want you to do all that.
Yeah.
Or, God forbid, we having to change a bridge out. Well, how long is it going to take?
Well, I mean,
however
you
long
want the
it
bridge
takes.
stable, or
That's
do
right.
you want to take a chance every time you go over?
I was in Holden this morning. I went to Purple Bean to check on them and have a cup of coffee. And I said, anything pressing up here? And they said, Highway 1036 bridge that last week they deemed was unsafe. Well, the new bridge, this is a wooden beam bridge that's been there since before I grew up in Holden, okay?
Yeah.
And so they're going to replace that bridge with a new concrete, and they're not going to have to block the channel nearly as much, so all the debris is not going to be all piled up
It's
against
huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big
That'll
deal.
break the bridge.
Yeah, well, it will. And I don't know how that bridge is still there after all those floods.
Sure.
But those things are, and that's the state. You know, of course, the parish has nothing to do with it. They can't. State highway.
Yeah.
But all of those things working together will improve when we have moderate flooding, okay, instead of massive flooding. Matter of fact, so I got a little place I hunt in Baton Rouge on the Amite River.
Yep.
But it's right off O'Neill Lane. And last winter, when I'd go hunting, I'm off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right, work for Parish Government.
Mm-hmm.
It flooded 3 times where I couldn't go hunting this past fall.
Yeah.
This one that happened 2 or 3 weeks ago with 4 inches of rain got to 30.5 feet on the gauge on 190 right here in Denham.
Right.
30.5.
Yeah. It's a little bit close.
Well, that's.
I don't like to see that. It's over flood. I mean, it's technically over minor
I think
flood.
26 is
Minor
right?
flood, yeah.
So you're getting close to the middle of major, moderate flooding.
Yeah.
Okay, with 4 inches? Oh, but it rained 12 inches in the watershed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened.
Yeah.
And then when it gets down, that's why the dredging of the Amite on the lower end, because when it gets down, if it's got nowhere to go, it just backs up, and then you get what you got in March
or it flows so slow that it allows it to back up, and that's what you want. That's why the dredging's so important, because the faster that water flows through here and out of Lake Pontchartrain somewhere, the faster that happens, the less likely.
The rise isn't as high.
Right.
But those things all work together, and you only have a finite amount of funds. You know, we've been blessed since the flood. We've gotten many, many grants for things, right? And that's a good thing, because without the
shout out to you grant managers and the people that
Heather and
search for those.
That group over there, with Susan and Heather, and they constantly, and Randy made that one of his priorities. Y'all go and look for every grant to do all the things we've been trying to do.
Grant managers are worth their weight in gold.
And it's amazing. I told them at the infrastructure meeting Wednesday night. So I'm sitting there and listening about all the future projects and all these things. Of course, it's going to take money. I told them I was on that council for 8 years, and we did some great things. We worked together on a lot of stuff. We argued about a lot of stuff. Heck, me and Randy argued about a lot of stuff. And that's why he brought me in, because I would just say, okay, I don't like it, you like it, let's fight about it right here. And then we'd get through and we'd be like, okay, nothing personal.
You're not a yes man.
No. Yeah. But the bottom of the parish is built completely different as District 3 up here, So what would work in some part of the parish we didn't think was right in other parts. So, but I told them, I said, guys, and it's like Ricky and Lonnie, John Wascom, and Mr. Joe Erdy is on the.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's who it is. I said, guys, I've seen more in the past 2.5 years under Randy DeLatte. And I said, and that's not a slap at Layton. We had no money.
Yeah.
when he, I said, but I've seen more happen, drainage-wise, roads-wise, planning-wise, cutting the budget, cutting the fat out of the budget-wise than I could have ever imagined. And at one point I thought about running for parish president. Could not have done it like Mr. Randy does.
No, he's done
and he don't stop.
A phenomenal job.
Oh my God. He doesn't stop ever. It's like, you. Yeah. I say, where's Mr. Randy? Oh, well, he's here a minute ago. Truck's gone. Yep.
Yeah. He gets after it. And I got no complaints
me either.
From a citizen perspective of how he's done.
I don't hear complaints from anybody.
Yeah.
Period. Chris Anderson, OEP director, doing a great job. Robert Dugas, DPW director.
Oh, he rock star. Total rock star.
Robert knows his stuff. And we trade jabs at meetings and all, and people are like, you can't talk to Mr. Robert like that. I said, we used to play football together. I can do whatever we want, But, and Robert's including me in more and more, like the Better Roads program. That's $80 million.
Yeah.
I go to those meetings every week or two. And we talk about where are we now? When's the next project coming out? We got to get it to the council for approval.
Right.
And then we'll let the bids on it,
Yeah.
The first 5 out of 12 came out with drainage, with everything else. 4 different companies.
Wow.
On 5 bids.
Yeah.
So that way they can all be working at the same time to get all these roads done instead of, we finished in District 3 and 2. We're going to move down to here. We're going to move over here. And I won't say it's a master plan, but it is a plan of we're going to fix 267 miles of roads before the end of next year.
Look, and that is a major step forward for the parish. And I think a lot of the improvement I've seen, we kind of touched on it, but it is a result of a horrific situation that we never wanted to go through and pray we never go through again. But the positives that came out of it, the ability to take something and say, let's take something that's so tragic you wouldn't believe it and at least make some good out of this.
We talked about this a little bit a while ago. As soon as everyone got everybody rescued out of the floodwaters and the shelters were set up, shelter at North Park, the shelter at the church on Lockhart Road, Lockhart Baptist, I think is where it was. I got pictures of them feeding people and animals tied up, donkeys and horses and all tied up to their fences where people were bringing their animals, cats in boxes and all these things. Then everybody worked together. And it didn't matter if you were black, white, Asian, Spanish. It did not matter.
Economic
They were coming
status.
out of water.
That's right.
It didn't matter if you had $1 or $10 million.
Yeah.
Everybody was treated exactly the same. We were all one people, Livingston Parish.
That's right.
We're still there.
Still there.
Okay? And as long as it's like this, and one group of people can't fix any issue, but everybody doing their little part, from your church or from your fire department or from your police department, whatever, working all together, when another thing happens, we're going to hit it again just like it was and
That's
do
right.
it again.
That's right. I say it all the time, Scooter, that no one can fight amongst each other like Livingston Parish can, but nobody can come together for each other.
That's right.
And I believe that because I believe there's very few cities or parishes rather in the country, and I know we don't have parishes all over the country, but counties, if you will, and other aspects, that would have made it through this better. We made it through this better as a community in so many ways, and the credit goes to, like you say, everybody, but the leadership at the top made a big difference. You were part of that.
Yeah, but
I know you're not going to take credit for it, but you were. Leighton Ricks, certainly. The parish government as it is now with Randy.
Yeah. And they made very hard decisions in the first few days that, we had to answer for a while.
Sure.
FEMA was like, wait, you can't do that. Well, Mr. Leighton was doing his very best to get his people back in their homes.
Right.
And we still have some fallout from it now, 10 years later.
Yeah.
And we're working through it as it comes up. Like I said, with Kim, with the building official, Kevin, whenever we have an issue, we figure it all out, talk to FEMA, get it cleared up for whoever's having an issue, and move forward. Now, another thing that happened since Randy took over, we got back in the CRS program.
Yes, we did.
Which is a big deal.
Seven, I think it is right now.
Which is a 15% discount.
That's right.
But they're not giving it to you unless you tell them and ask for it. So
Right.
when you renew your insurance, make sure you let those people know. And we can get you a letter from the parish saying, yes, Mr. Mangus went to get his done. They said, oh, no, y'all are back in, but unless we get a letter saying we don't have to give you the discount. So what did he do? Kim got him a letter. There you go.
Yeah. Look, I called my something on that topic. I called my insurance agent as soon as I heard about this, State Farm, and I said, hey, I got my bill in, and in between the time that I got my flood insurance bill in, the CRS rating came out, and it dropped for this parish. And so he's doing on his computer, and he says, well, you're showing your rate went down. And so they must have known that by the time they billed you. Now I'm saying, are you sure? I'm like, and he
Where's
says,
my 15%?
he says, I'm 100% sure. And I said, how are you 100% sure? And he said, because your rate would have never dropped unless something happened. So he said, you saved about 15% over last year.
Right.
It's not going to go down if they didn't know that the CRS rating. So I take him at his word.
But that's available to everyone,
sure.
whether you're in X or A or AE zones. It's a 15%, and
it's only going to get better.
The parish,
as things get better.
Between Miss Cindy O'Neill and Kim Hymel, they've been working to get us to a 6. Now it's tough because you got to get points.
A lot of
and
qualifications.
All these, So we're looking for low hanging fruit. Had a meeting with Half 2 weeks ago. That's who's doing the drainage master plan. And along with GEC and others. But we said, where's some low-hanging fruit that we can get something now to get it down to 25%?
Yeah.
Quarter off.
That's huge.
So what I'm hoping it'll do, as we get it down lower, the people in X will go ahead and buy. If they don't have it now, go ahead and buy it. And what that does, it replenishes the pool for one reason, so that when the disasters happen, there's enough money in it to help people without having to go back to Congress, and you know how that is.
Oh yeah.
And peace of mind. That's what
peace of mind.
You were talking about Livingston Parish pulling together. Them old Cajuns. They look out for one another.
Oh,
too.
You better believe it. I'm married to one.
Matter of fact, Mary Ann, that was my manager for so long at the cleaners.
Yeah.
She moved back to Avoyelles after she retired.
Yeah.
And she called Kay and she said, Miss Kay, we need dehumidifiers. Well, they had already had a truck loaded up.
Yeah.
I think it was a Lowe's truck. They were donating hundreds of dehumidifiers. We don't need them back. Get them to those people.
Wow,
Let
that's
it dry
amazing.
them houses out so they don't get full of mold.
Oh yeah.
We need
the biggest
fans.
part.
Kay had fans, But I mean, none of these people had experienced flooding. None of them were born.
They were like us when we flooded.
Yeah,
had no idea what to do.
That's-
What do you cut your sheetrock at? A lot of these people just had a foot in it. Do I gut before the FEMA people come by or after? And all those questions that nobody knew the answer to. Now there's a lot of people that know the answers. I know exactly what to do.
So we met with Half
if I get water,
a couple weeks ago on training and getting ready during blue sky days, so that when something does happen, when it's not blue anymore, it's black, it's just pouring, the parish will be ready. Because we weren't ready. We had no idea.
Nobody was ready.
You
can't
so
prepare
now
for something
all of this
like
is Randy. Randy got a vision, and he's running with it. And it's okay if you don't like it.
Yeah.
You're not going to like everything every politician wants to do.
Yet to run into one that I agree with 100%.
Well, what kind of world would that be?
After spending hours diving into these crazy cases, the last thing I want is to lie there staring at the ceiling because the sheets feel rough or I'm sweating all night. That's just a few of the reasons I love Cozy Earth. They make the softest, most luxurious bamboo bedding and loungewear I have ever owned. Their sheets are temperature regulating, ultra breathable, and actually get softer with every wash. The pajama sets and robes make me feel like I am in total vacation mode while still at home. I love Cozy Earth so much, in fact, that I worked out a deal with them. Right now, as a special offer for my listeners, you can unlock an exclusive 30% discount on anything you buy using the code EXPOSED at checkout when you visit CozyEarth.com. And here's the peace of mind. Their bedding is backed by a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty, so you can try it completely risk-free. Stop settling for restless nights. Head to CozyEarth.com, use my code EXPOSED at checkout, and treat yourself to the best sleep you've had in years. Your bed will thank you. That's CozyEarth.com and use the code EXPOSED at checkout for 30% off.
You know, we got $50 million after the flood of 16 to clean out every creek, stream, lateral, ditch, you know, which caused a problem because now there's no water retained in the woods.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the Amite River much quicker.
Yeah.
It's leaving the northern part of the parish in a hurry-up rate. But where does that put it? So where did he go looking for the first project on Amite River? The lower end.
Right.
So they cleaned the entire thing out from the parish line all the way down to the lake. Fallen trees, just like 2 years ago.
I remember.
Okay. That wasn't flood money. That was another grant that did that.
Yeah.
But now the river's flowing so good that, we got to fix the weir.
Yeah.
We got to dredge Lower Livingston.
Yeah.
Because Lower Livingston would be in a bind if we had 20-something inches up here and we got it to them really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's what Mr. Randy's concern is. Okay, we got this fixed up here. But
now
below
let's
the interstate,
focus on this.
And
I'm below the interstate, so yeah.
And so
I
when you
get it.
leave the unfunded drainage districts, leave the funded drainage districts and get into all the unfunded, that's all DPW. That's all that's available to clean out creeks, streams, laterals, ditches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're all, you know, and so there's only a finite amount of money. It's like $10 million a year is all DPW's run on.
Yeah.
People go, $10 million, that's a lot. In today's dollar, doesn't get you very far.
Right.
Robert did a fantastic job on this Better Roads program. Every bid is coming in $700,000 to $1 million.
I saw that. I saw
under
that
what he thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
What the engineers thought, not what Robert thought. Robert's not an engineer.
Sure.
He's been seeing this for 40 years, but that's big because then if you run into a drainage, let's say a 60-inch culvert that's got to be changed out that wasn't in the bid, well, now you got money to cover it.
Yeah.
You know? And those on those local levels are going to make a big difference. There's lots of things happening. Like Walker's got a major project going. They did a CEA between the parish and the town of Walker, city of Walker,
Yeah.
to get the water on the Coyote Creeks through the city. But then it hits an unfunded drainage district, so all they have is DPW. And remember, we tried to fund the drainage district. I guess it's District 8 is what they call the one that's 70-80% of the parish.
Yes.
And we have to keep trying to fund that. The parish councilmen talk about it a lot, and they go, oh, but people are so anti-tax. And I said, they were anti-tax for drainage after the flood.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard to get somebody buy-in. But look at Killian. Killian just voted in a 1-cent sales tax. Passed by a lot.
Yeah.
Because they needed it. Because Killian's growing.
I do want to thank you for continuing on with government.
Some other things. Yeah, so I'm still in the politics part, whether you want to be in there or not. It is what it is. I don't get political because my job's not political.
No.
You know? If you send me to go talk to some people because they're not happy, I can try and make them happy.
Yeah.
Can't ensure that I will because, you know, it's on them. Had a gentleman the other day was having issues up in Watson, and Mr. Randy said, go see if you can help those folks. Because he wants to help everybody, period. Okay? Yeah. So I went, and it was something we couldn't do, you know. And I told him what we could possibly do to help him. And I saw him outside of Walmart Sunday. He goes, man, he said, tell Mr. Randy, thank you that we got it lined out, and it's just y'all talking about it with other people helped us.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's something you can't do with taxpayer money.
That's right.
And he won't do it with taxpayer money.
Yeah.
You know, he knew. I mean, Randy's been a politician for a long time.
Sure.
But he doesn't act like it. You know, because he'll do things that you shouldn't do as a politician.
Yeah.
And want to get it reelected.
Yeah.
But he goes, "This is the right thing.
Yeah.
We're going to do it."
Well, and at the end of the day, I think that's what makes your best leaders are people that are going to do the right thing in their mind, hard. Even when it's hard.
That's the one.
And even when it pisses somebody off, if they feel like this is what needs to be done, that's what they were voted in.
And you'll do it and move on to the next thing.
I believe that.
Oh, the animal shelter.
Yeah.
I mean, we wanted to do. I ran on an animal shelter the first time.
Yep.
Oh, we can't do that. Oh, it's going to bleed the parish dry. Oh, it's going to. No, he found a way.
Found a way.
And it's fantastic. And I cry every day. I'm looking at Facebook and I'm like,
oh yeah,
maybe
man,
I need to go get another puppy.
You want to get every one of them.
Yeah, and you can't
take them home.
They had 99 dogs in there this weekend.
Yeah.
And you know they adopt out 15 or 20 a week.
Yeah.
So people need to go to.
That's right.
We're gonna have to do a podcast on. Okay, we're here now.
Yeah.
So let's support all the things that are coming. You know.
Absolutely. Make people aware of
parts tax. They voted down the parts tax. You know. And then they voted it back
people
in, and then they go.
People don't need.
Well, they didn't
good
change that
family entertainment.
No, that's very.
We need a park for
very cheap for what they offer. Pickleball courts, everything. Yeah, no.
How much is a picnic table?
Yeah. I was in leadership Livingston this year. Mr. Randy wanted me to go. Why? I'm old, right?
Yeah.
But I picked up several things that I did not know about our parish.
Sure.
That will now help me in my job.
100%.
You know,
one of the best things I ever did was do that program, and saw everything from where boats are made that you would never have any idea that was in this parish. The Hungarian settlement, something I was familiar, I knew about, but I was not familiar with.
You passed through there and said, "Oh, they got a museum."
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's cool.
But what
you don't
about
realize the history behind it.
Yes.
That's right. So a lot of things, learning, about how the jail works and government and all of the things you learn in that program.
Yeah, so anybody that's interested in doing that should do that. Our project is Spring Park.
Right.
And we're building a walking trail down to the springs.
One of my favorite projects.
What made me bring it up about picnic tables.
Yeah.
So we're buying 6 picnic tables and 5 benches. Well, it was like $10,000.
Yeah, you would never think.
But they're ADA compliant. They're built to last forever. They're coated.
That's right.
If you're going to buy something, buy the good stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to buy a wooden one where you're replacing it every 4 years.
And Buffy, that's
amazing.
Buffy was on my team, thank God, and Buffy is amazing.
Yep.
I hope she'll
Calvin
carry
Bowden.
over. Calvin. Well,
he'll solve a crime for you and put a
people
picnic table up for you.
On our team, but like Michelle and Heather, all these guys. John Mangus was on mine.
Yep.
And they don't know. No.
Right.
It's kind of like Randy don't understand can't.
Yeah.
There's no can't. Right.
All right.
We got to figure it out. And so our parish is in good shape. Hopefully for at least the next 9.5 years, because Randy's going to run 2 more times.
Yeah.
And I'll be there if he wants me there. If he doesn't want me there, I'll go back to doing what I was doing, which was nothing when he called.
Well, I'm sure he's fine with you being there. Certainly you're an asset. Certainly you're an asset.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on, Scooter, sharing your experience with that flood and the parish's side of that. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, if there was only a manual for all the future people to go by.
Boy, I'm telling you. Will you write that?
Oh, I'll get Miss Victoria
Randy, task him to write that manual.
Yeah, do that.
There you go. Thank y'all so much for listening. Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman, reminding you love your community, support local business, and keep leading. Thank you.